So because there is some conditionality and we are saying we are going to value a much broader range of human activities, wouldn't this disincentivize paid work? In the sense that if most of things that we do will be recognized, so someone who is in the formal labor market and is currently not receiving the living income might well say, well, why is this more worthwhile than what I'm doing? So I don't know what I'm getting with this, but I just get it like into my mind that so isn't it better to do it universal and unconditional, and then people will decide what to do? And the second one is it came from some results of the MINCAM in Barcelona, where they divided participants into groups and controlled for behavioral effects, whether they were put in conditional or unconditional forms of support in a limited time or extended time. And for the groups that were put within some form of conditionality, which was broadened, like what we're talking about, so even like care for the environment, care for children, and so on, it created a lock-in effect on their behavior, because even though what we meant by contribution was widened, they still had to go and prove that they were doing something. And so that slowed down their recipients, like it kind of put them in that, say, okay, I am a full-time parent, that's it. Because every time, otherwise, if tomorrow I decide to be an artist, I will have to go and reapply. Okay, now today I'm an artist. And so it creates a lock-in effect which slows down social innovation, for example, between other things. And I can go on. Sorry, I don't want to monopolize this, but yeah, thank you. If you could.
Thank you, Loriana, for your contributions. It's always a pleasure. Do any of the authors want to respond? Which of the authors would like to respond to those?
Can I give almost a one-line response?
Please.
I think it would be useful, actually, and I've seen a couple of comments in the chat line on this, to lay down a fundamental principle, which is, and something I would hold to, that it is wrong to use the withdrawal of basic subsistence as a punitive or disciplinary measure in any circumstances.
Yeah, we don't starve prisoners when they've committed heinous crimes. They still get they still get 3 hots in a cot.
There is a sense in which, at least this is a statement of my position rather than necessarily the LIG proposal. I would be non-negotiable on that, and I think we should be. But the aim of the policy paper is to really try and wedge an opening so that we can have this widened parameters for participation. I'll stop there.
No, thank you very much, Jane. Do any of the other authors want to respond before we move on to the next question?
Just on the comments about, people who don't contribute, I spent years as a youth worker and working with, people who were always written off as being the non-contributors, the undeserving. And I just really challenge the idea that there are people that don't contribute, that, these people who often get termed that, like I've seen mass contributions people make in supporting, each other to keep, alive, to keep going, to get off certain, to sort their life, like the amount of effective and emotional care that people put in, but also that's serious labor that keeps people on track, people alive, people, in the world and engaged in the world is super important work. And, it's people who are just completely written off. Also, I'm saying that, but there's many examples I can think of people who, doing way more, of course, than just, than the effective work. So what I'm trying to say is I just don't buy that people don't contribute. And, so there is a question about how those contributions are recorded, so that if there was an audit, then they would be able to do that. That's that's an important point. I just don't buy, and I think we really have to challenge this whole point around contribution. I think it's been a lie that's been set up aimed to govern people since Federation around, you need to work to be a deserving person.